Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kiera, and welcome to the podcast today, guys. I hope you're having such an incredible day. I am on cloud 9. I have had some incredible guests, and now I get to do a little solo casting with you guys. I just love this family. I hope you guys know that. I hope you feel that. I hope you feel the love that I have for each of you individually. I hope you just know that I truly do believe that you are doing better than you think you are. I think you should just give yourself a huge, giant high five today. Know that you are so loved, that you are so appreciated, and you are so needed. I'm not sure who needs to hear that today, but I watched a lot of social media during December, and I was just brokenhearted by some dear friends committed suicide, some family members lost other family members through car accidents, and I just was so committed to reminding people I have been on that dark side of life a time or two, and I just want to remind every single one of you, and hopefully I can reach you, but just know that you're loved, that you care, that you matter, that people need you. I know when those days get junk and they're just hard, that sometimes it feels like daunting to be able to see past that. But I just want to remind you, as someone who's not your family, as someone who's not even maybe in your life directly, but through the podcast, that you matter and that you're needed and that your family loves you. And if your family's not the person for me, it wasn't my family that could save me. It was one other person. And just remembering that you matter and that you're needed and that you're loved and that there's so much more in this life that you can even see from today and that your life is so great. There's so many amazing things, and let's just shift our focus. And it's just that one small moment that we need to get you through. And today I'm here to say, get through those moments. I don't know when your time will come. I don't know what heartache or hardship or just stress that's going to hit you. But I just want to remind every one of you that you matter and to remind people around you that they matter and that you love them and that you're here for them. And if there's ever a time, you guys reach out to me at any time. I will give you my cell phone number. It's 801-885-5351. I'm happy to be your lifeline. I'm happy to be the person that reminds you that you matter. Like, truly just text me. I'll be there for you. But whomever needs to hear this today, I'm here for you and I love you and I'm so proud of you. And you're doing a darn good job. So stop beating up on yourself. Stop shoulding of all the things you should do. There's no shoulds in life. There's just meant to be happiness and to be joy. And I've seen both sides of it, and I've seen the hard side and I've seen the great side. And I'm just hoping that you are on the great side. And if you're ever in those times, because they will happen, just remember, you matter, you're loved, that people care about you, and this world would be so lost if you weren't here. So just remember that. And today, you guys, I just wanted to go through, I know some of you, your December was just crummy. You had hard numbers. It was a hard month for you. Some of you crushed it, and high five to that. But I know we've been consulting and there's been quite a few people, and a common theme that we've been having, I love consulting. I love being able to pick up patterns, and I love being able to share those patterns with our clients because you think that you're the only one. And I'm here to tell you that you weren't the only one. So I wanted to give you guys some tangible tips today of what to do if your December was junk. And let's come up with a plan so that way next year it's not that way. I truly believe that there's no failures. There are just results. And so if we can figure out what that result was and how we can have better results in the future, rock on. Let's do that together, shall we? So as always, guys, if this podcast is serving and blessing your life, please, please, please go leave a review. Please download, share this with someone because your shares are what keep our podcast to the top of the list. And I just appreciate you guys doing that. So go share it with someone today. Even that first part intro, share that with someone. They don't even have to be in dental, but just remind them that you love them and that they matter. So with that, all right, December was a hard month or it was a great month. Here's how we can prepare for it. So number one, I want you to go through your P&L. I know P&Ls sound like a pain in the booty. I feel like P&L should be like the PIA award. Like I really do. And that stands for pain in the ace. Guys, keep this PG over here, of course. But I don't enjoy looking at a P&L, but what I do enjoy is that it truly is the treasure map to your success and your failure. Like it really is. And so for all of our clients that were struggling in December, Let's go look at our P&L. Let's find out why. And then let's go and see what was our schedule, what was our case acceptance, what was our reappointment rates, what was our new patients. Those little indicators are like the vitals of your business. So just like when I go to the doctor, I need to be looking at those quick vitals because I'm looking for the lever I need to turn in January. And also, what do I need to put into place for next year at this time of year so that way I don't have another crummy December. Like, high five, you had a crummy December. Let's never have that happen again. Let's figure out why it happened and let's proactively prepare for it. So a few things I would be putting in my software in August to reach out to all of my patients and let them know about benefits ending. Why do we wait until October when it's psychotic? Let's do that in August this year. So I would pin that and go put that in my schedule right now so I don't forget about that. Also, go look through that P&L. A lot of our clients, it was because they were paying end of year bonuses. They were paying out a ton and their payroll was just sky high. Well, could we prepare for that and maybe break out those bonuses or be saving throughout the year, knowing we're going to be paying those bonuses out at end of year? It always boggles my mind. And it's just because I don't live my life this way. You guys, I literally would like cry at night when I first started the business because I was terrified that I was going to get some surprise bill and I wasn't going to be saved up for it. So that has in turn turned me into like an obsessive weirdo with the number of savings accounts that I have. I have savings accounts where every single month I set up an X percentage off the top. So whatever my profit margin was, 10% of that or whatever percentage you want literally goes into my end of year bonuses. If I know I'm going to be paying out so many dollars, I just figure that in and I put it into a high yield savings account throughout the year. If I don't end up needing to pay it, fantastic, but at least I was prepared to pay it. So it doesn't feel like that gut wrench knife in the stomach. Oh my gosh, I can't afford this. Well, of course you can't afford it. You weren't planning that. And unless you had a high producing month, you're going to be struggling. And so let's put into play this year. Let's look at the bonuses. Let's look at those 3-month payrolls that are going to hit us this year. And let's strategically plan for those. Let's start saving today. So when they hit high, we're able to just pull money out of savings and it doesn't hurt at all. Like literally, that's what I do for taxes. That's what I do for bonuses. That's what I do for my extra payrolls. When I'm about to hire a new employee, I start planning about 3 months before I hire them, if I can, and just make sure that I am like, I'm putting them on payroll, like massive air quotes around that, before they even join my team. And the reason why is because I need to make sure that they are ready to go and that I know what that like feeling of loss of revenue while they're being trained is going to feel like. And so I'm really, really big on let's just make sure we're prepared. Let's make sure that we have these things in place. You guys, we can. That's the beautiful thing. We can set this up. We can do these things. And so if we just take the time to plan and to look at that, where is the lever? What causes pain? I remember my CPA used to call me and he's like, "Hey, Kiera, great news. You made so much money and you owe this much." And I was like, how does this happen to me every year? I would cry in December. It was awful. And I found out it was because of like the retirement we had not prepared for, my charitable contributions we had not prepared for. I had only really been paying attention to the tax line. But that took me going back to those hard Decembers and saying, why was this December so hard? What could I do throughout the year to make it so I don't have hard Decembers? I also set up tax planning meetings with my CPA in July because I still have half of the year to save more if I need to save more. So I am always, always, always tax planning. I put myself at the highest tax bracket, even higher than what I probably would ever pay. So I put myself at a 40% and I'm starting to pull out 40% of the profit, excluding my pay, because I've already paid taxes on it that are like sky high and I see nothing out of that paycheck. It's always depressing to me. But I'm pulling that out right now. I'm putting it into a savings account. You're paying your quarterly payments if that's what you plan to do, or you're at least saving it and making money on it in a high yield savings account. Discipline equals freedom, if I can quote Jocko Willings, like from Extreme Ownership. The discipline to save, the discipline to go through your P&L and figure out why your December was hard, the discipline to go through your schedule, the discipline to look through your treatment tracker. People are always like, Kiera, so many offices seem like they can do it easier. And I'm like, it's because they're disciplined. This stuff is not fun. This stuff is hard. But if you will literally like, I don't care if you don't know how to read a P&L. You can figure out where that money is. Go put it into a spreadsheet. Dental A team, we have it. I've done a podcast on it. Reach out. Our consulting, we do this, but we put it into an overhead calculator and we show you, all right, your payroll should be this based on industry standards. And I don't care what industry standards are. I care what yours are. If you want 40% profit, if you want 20% profit, whatever it is, let's put that as our target. And then let's start to create that. Because tracking, measuring, and following through is how you're going to not have hard Decembers. Now, if it was marketing and something externally, great. What could we do to ramp that up? If I know my December is lower, could I reduce hours? Like, should we close out in December? That way I'm only doing 2 weeks of production and not having to pay for all of it. Could I prepare and get a marketing company. We've got an amazing marketer. His name's Ryan Gross. You have to be referred by Dental A Team. So let us know. Email us hello@thedentalateam.com. If you guys want that overhead calculator, email us hello@thedentalateam.com. Happy to share that with you. But really, can we prepare now to start having that to where we're not down in the dumps? Could we put signage outside of our building? Could we start a referral process earlier in the year? I know that there was an office that did Christmas Cash as their referral program in December. So every person who referred, there was a giveaway. And I think they gave out like $500 or $1,000 to the winner. And it was called Christmas Cash. And they gave it out the week before Christmas. You better believe they had so many referrals because people were so excited for that. They gave away, I think, 2 or 3 of those. So multiple people won. And that's a very small amount for the number of referrals they got in December. But getting creative, looking to see what is it? Was it our scheduling? Was it not following up? I don't ever want to hear, because I'm sure you'll tell me but Kiera, they were maxed on benefits. High five. Of course they should be maxed on benefits. Benefits are like a coupon of spit in the bucket. Insurance benefits do not exist. They're so small and they're so minimal. And I want you to always remember that. So even at the end of the year, their benefits will be maxed out, but they still need to get treatment done because next year we are going to do the same thing. And so why are we waiting and procrastinating when right now is the time that we need to get these things done? So it's never about insurance. And also, I don't want you blaming. Blaming just takes the freedom away from you because you can't fix it now. There's no way for you to make it better. There's no way for you to figure out the solutions because now you're dependent upon someone else. That takes all your power away from you. So we don't blame. We only blame ourselves and we're committed to fixing it. So those would be some things. Look at your P&L. Let's figure it out. If we need to bring in marketing, let's do some referral processes. Let's reach out to a credible marketing company and let's see what we could do. Other things that created a hard December, the bonuses, we're going to start preparing and planning right now. So let's start saving for that. Your taxes, that can also be a hurt, sting. Oh gosh, that was hard. What about Christmas parties and holiday parties and the team? Start saving for that. Look to see how much it was this year based on how many employees you had. Divide it by the number of employees. Estimate how many employees you expect to have by the end of year next year and create a little fund and divide it by 12 months or 11 months and start just putting it in. You guys, I have savings accounts beyond savings accounts, but I do it intentionally and they're labeled. So this would be holiday party. This one would be labeled end of year bonuses. This one's labeled new employee. I literally have those funds in my third party bank account. And I just keep adding to them. So that way, when my December's hard, I know I have the funds. I've been preparing and planning for this all year long. So then I'm so excited to pay the bonuses. I'm so excited to pay the party because I've been saving for it and it's not cutting it and making it to where I don't have any profit in December. December, just so you guys know, I always have a junk overhead in December. Every year, Dental A Team has a junk overhead because I'm spending money on purpose of what's going to propel my business forward. But throughout the year, I know I'm going to do this. So I have the cash so the cash flow doesn't hurt. So I want you guys to start planning this way, thinking about it. Look to see. So I have a spreadsheet for end of year spending and I do it every year. You could just go back to your December P&L, your December even credit card statement and put in all the things you spent that were extra above and beyond what you normally spend in a regular month. If you don't even know what you spend in a regular month, you really need that overhead cash calculator. And you might even need to join Dental A Team. Dental A Team, we have Practice Momentum, which is group consulting, and we also have Platinum Private Consulting, which is one-on-one. The group is way affordable and it puts you through a whole system. And there are office hours called Ask Consultants Everything every single week. If you're oh, I need some help with this, but I'm not 100% ready for private, fantastic. Reach out. hello@thedentalateam.com. I'd love to help you out with this. So don't feel like you have to do this alone. If you're everything you're saying right now, Kiera, I know I need to do, but I'm not disciplined to do it on my own. Hey, welcome. I'm giving you a huge hug. I'm the same way. That's why I have coaches. And once you get the system in place, you don't ever have to remember to do it. It's a system and it runs. And we just have to make sure that we keep that system up and going. But that's it. There's no more remembering. It's just there for you. And I think the hardest part is just starting. We just have to start. So for that, I want you guys to really let's go look at everything we spent in December. I have an end of year spending. I know how much extra this last year, it was actually a lower year for me, but Dental A Team ended up spending over $30,000 at the end of the year of additional things. So we're buying plane tickets for the year. I'm buying office supplies of things that we need. A lot of dental offices will buy their supplies. Do not bulk up on them. Let's keep that overhead down. But truth be told, my December is always junk. It is because I'm intentionally spending more money to reduce my tax bill only on things. I'm not doing it to reduce the tax bill. I'm just buying things that I know I would buy anyway. And so things that will move my business forward, like plane tickets, CE, consulting. I always pay for my consulting between October, November, and December. I know because I know how my year does. I know what my estimated tax bill is. I have the money saved up, and then I'm able to use some of those funds because I'm not going to have to pay taxes on it, right? So I use those funds for cash. I still need to have the additional cash flow for it, but that's how you're able to pull the funds from one savings account, pay for it to where it just doesn't hurt and sting. It would hurt and sting if we went and bought a house with no down payment. That would feel very stressful, but we save and we prepare and we plan for it. Why don't we do the same thing for our Decembers? Why don't we do the same thing in our businesses when we should? We could and we can do it. So my challenge to you is go look at your P&L and let's figure out why. Why was December so hard? Next up, look to see what are the extra costs that came into play in December, and can we start preparing for those these year, right now, throughout the whole year, so it's ready to go. If it was low patience, go look at your treatment plans. If you're not tracking your treatment plans, let's start tracking those treatment plans, because this is going to boost that case acceptance. It's going to reduce the stress, and it's going to make sure that we're ready to go. So I want you guys, there's so many things, and that's why I love numbers, because numbers tell you the secrets to where we need to go. So if your December was great, do the same things. If your December was hard, do the same things. Get that P&L out. Let's look for the levers. Let's look to see our December amounts. Let's start saving and planning and preparing for it now. Let's start figuring out where we're going to have 3 payrolls this year. Let's prepare for those. Let's start building up savings accounts. Now, you might say, but Kiera, this sounds all fine and dandy, but I don't even have any profit. High five. That's great. I'm so happy that you at least know that. We need to find out again why. Why don't we have profit? Why are we not taking home a paycheck? And what's a 1, 2, or 3 change that we could do each month to get you more profitable? I know right now I'm looking at our costs and I'm like, okay, that would be nice, but do I have to have it right now, or can I get by without it? I often find that people spend things on nice to haves rather than our must haves. And my question to you is, how bad is the pain of not paying yourself versus the pain of saying no? And until the pain's bad enough, you're probably not going to change. My husband the other day was like, I need to really take my glasses to work. And I said, put an alarm in your phone, put them in the car. Let's get you another case to keep them at the office. You have 4 pairs of glasses. I don't know why he has so many, but I find them everywhere. He didn't. And I said, I guess that the pain's not that bad that you really need them at work. Because when the pain gets bad enough, we'll make changes. I'm just a proactive person, and I'd rather not have to get to that pain to make the changes. Let's just do the changes now. So if you need help, reach out. hello@thedentaleteam.com. No judgment, no stress. Everybody starts here. I started here. I wasn't getting paid for almost my first year of owning Dental A Team. It's because I didn't know about AR. Well, once I learned about AR and how to bill and collect, instantly my problems went away. It was crazy. There's an office that we helped, so it's really cool. They were struggling. They didn't feel like they had any cash, and it has been a long journey. I'm not going to lie to you. So I saw them back in August, and we have finally, so August was hard. Months before that, let's even go clear back to, let's just do May. May was hard. June was hard. July was hard. August was hard. I found out that they had, oh my gosh, I think we had over 10,000 accounts in accounts receivable. Great news. We have money available. We just have to collect it. So daunting and exciting. So that was August, September, October, November, December. January, they are now well over 100% collections. They're now sitting at the 120, 130, 140, because all their hard work is finally paying off and the money's coming in, and those doctors are ecstatic. But it took us, that's not an overnight turn, but it was less than a year. They just needed help knowing. And then every single week, I literally email and check in on them and ask them, okay, tell me where we are. Where are our accounts? I look at the tracker. I see their tracker. I see where they're at. I look to see it. We go after the biggest balances first. We write off certain things that are old debt, so that way we know it's not collectible. But there was money sitting there, hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting there. So when people are like, I'm not paying myself, are we also going to all the avenues to be able to pay ourselves? I have definitely paid for our consulting just by collecting as much as we've helped them collect. We've paid for ourselves by reducing their overhead and training their team to be able to do this. I barely talk to the doctors. We've trained the team completely. So it's become this really fun thing to be able to do for them. But if you had a hard December or you had a great December, discipline really does equal freedom. And I was just re-listening to Extreme Ownership. I have my team listen to it every year, and I re-listened to it. And it was interesting because they said that leadership has so many dichotomies. And I hadn't thought about this, and I didn't catch it until this year. There are dichotomies, right? Discipline feels counterintuitive to freedom. The go-giver, giving, seems counterintuitive to receiving. Being calm seems counterintuitive to when it feels chaos. Like all these different areas within business that feel counterintuitive, but they really are the secret to success. So all those things that feel counterintuitive, working less days, dropping insurance plans if it's the right time, letting go of toxic team members is actually a better choice than holding on to a toxic team member. Like all of these things really will help you guys have a better practice. So I would say the discipline right now of going through and figuring out why your December was hard. And again, reach out. We do this one-on-one with our clients and literally go through their P&L forward with them, send it over to them, help them put into place, make sure they're following up with it, make sure they're saving the amounts, figuring out how much they need to save. Like if you're not a numbers person, high five, we're here to help you. But whatever it is, have the discipline and set yourself up so that way you don't have another hard December. I am so glad you had a crummy December if you will learn from it, if you will take the lessons that you learned and do something about it. If you're willing to have that discipline, you will be far greater ahead than all the rest of the practices, and you're not going to have the stress. There'll be other stresses that hit you, but you fix this when you've mastered it, you've overcome, and it's no longer a failure. It was a learning because you learned from it, you put a system in play, and you execute it. So go out, make it amazing. Reach out if we can help you. hello@thedentallyteam.com. And as always, thanks for listening. And I'll catch you next time on the Dentally Team Podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dentally Team Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.